A point which has been frequently made in the United States, and particularly among sort of some law professors and people interested in law about capitalism, is to question the concept of the charter for a corporation. Corporations are, as they say in the law, they're artificial bodies. They're not actual human beings. They are a set of laws and regulations which allow people to come together by contract and hold money together and appoint other people to spend the money to do whatever, to run a bank, to run a railroad, to buy things, to sell things, to enter into contracts of employment. And all this is done in the name of an entity, the corporation. And most all the statutes that I know of at the state level in the United States put the power to run the corporation in the hands of the boards of directors. Then the question is sort of raised, well, what's the purpose of a corporation? Can they do anything they want, of the board or the employees they hire? Well, obviously you want the corporation to obey the law, so that goes without saying. But what is the law about the end of a corporation? Many people assert, many people believe that the end of a corporation is simply to make money for the owners, the shareholders, the stockholders. This was a famous statement in effect by Milton Friedman, a very famous, well-known economist, about 1970, where he said the purpose of a business is to make money for the business, and that implies the owners. And there are several people, mostly from the left, frankly, who've come up with interpretations of corporate law and judicial opinions which say that the corporate charter imposes this limited focus on the corporation. I don't believe that's true, but it is also true that nothing in the charter or the laws mandates that corporations have to take care of their different stakeholders, their customers, their employees, their suppliers, people who give them equity capital, owners, yes, people who lend them money, yes, the environment, the communities, things like that. The co-roundtable position generally has been that responsibility at the level of the company directs you towards all your stakeholders, but it's not written in the law. You have to get there because you're a good steward. Now, just recently, one of our senators, Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, who is also a faculty member of the Harvard Law School, has come up with a proposal just yesterday, really, in the newspaper, and I haven't read her proposed legislation, but her idea, frankly, is intriguing, and it fleshes out the co-roundtable's notion that stakeholders are important. What she is proposing is a different place where corporations can go to get their charter. That place would be the federal government of the United States. Since the Constitution, corporate charters have basically been left to states on the grounds that they're not part of the national agenda. They're part of the local police power, like collecting taxes in cities or doing zoning regulations as to where you can put a gas station. That's not something that the federal government is empowered to do. However, the federal government, as all sovereign authorities are, because corporations are created by sovereign authorities, the federal government in the United States is authorized to create its own corporations, and there are a number of federal corporations. They're few, and they're mostly set up to sort of undertake special projects. I think Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which buy and sell mortgages, they are corporations. They have a board of directors, they have staff, but they're chartered by the federal government for a specific purpose. Senator Warren's idea is that the federal government could set out a chartering scheme, which is basically a register, where you go register your corporation and you file your charter. That gives you legal rights, but your charter has to be consistent with the standards of the law. And at the federal level, the charter would have to recognize the duty of the board to benefit the interests of stakeholders, more than just owners. Owners can get recognized, but also customers, employees, community suppliers, creditors, and other people. This might be a very interesting step forward in 21st century capitalism, post-industrial capitalism. It is also mirrored in something called the Benefit Corporation Statute, which we took the lead in doing here in Minnesota. Now, a benefit corporation statute at the state level is an alternative to your general incorporation statute. It says if people who want to start a corporation and investors, if they want to put limits on themselves by saying our corporation will give high priority to customers, will devote all its profits to the employees, or all the profits over 10% go to the employees, or our corporation is designed not to pollute the water, and they all agree, then that's what their corporation will do. And the board of directors of that corporation has the fiduciary duty to implement that goal. And I think now more than 36 states have adopted some form of a benefit corporation law. Generally, these are small corporations. They're not massive and huge, but they allow investors who want their money to be used in a socially constructive way to find a business vehicle. It also allows workers and managers who want to serve a dual purpose, it's usually talked about. They do want to make some money, yes, but they also want to provide, let's say, healthy food, or they want to provide an environmentally safe form of housing product or something like that, asbestos or whatever new invention comes along. And the idea is we want to encourage the marriage of finance with good social purpose. And Senator Warren's idea might be a way of doing that.